At some point, have you paused and asked yourself why chasing self-improvement leaves you feeling so empty? You followed the advice, made the effort, set the goals, chased every version of better, and yet something still feels off. You might think that constant improvement is the only way to live, that if you're not growing, you're falling behind, that if you're not hustling, evolving, upgrading, you're somehow failing. So you push yourself day after day to be more productive, more polished, more impressive. You call it self-development. But sometimes, deep down, it starts to feel more like self-abandonment. And at some point, maybe it's worth asking, are you truly growing or just performing growth? We often confuse movement with progress. We link productivity to self-worth. And slowly, without meaning to, we blur the line between becoming better and becoming someone we barely recognize. This isn't about blame. It's not about pointing fingers at society, gender, or any specific group. It's simply about a very human pattern, wanting to do better, be better, but not realizing when that pursuit turns into quiet self-sabotage. So let's take a breath and be honest with ourselves. Let's talk about the habits we've been told are good for us, but might actually be draining us. Because not everything that looks like growth truly helps us grow. 1. Being busy means you're trying hard. Somewhere along the way, society taught you that being busy is a badge of honor. That the fuller your calendar is, the more accomplished you must be. You hear phrases like, if you're not hustling, you're falling behind, or sleep is for the weak. And so, without even realizing it, you start measuring your worth by how exhausted you are. The truth is, busyness doesn't always mean effort. Sometimes it's avoidance. A way to escape the discomfort of slowing down, the vulnerability of stillness. Because when you slow down, things surface feelings, doubts, questions you've buried beneath layers of activity. In today's grind culture, being overwhelmed is often celebrated. You're praised for multitasking, admired for your stamina, and even romanticized for burning the candle at both ends. But here's the irony. People who are always busy often feel the most out of control. They're not managing time, they're being ruled by it. You might notice that constant busyness doesn't leave you feeling fulfilled. It leaves you drained. That's because it activates your nervous system into a state of chronic stress. When you're constantly on, your body never gets a chance to rest. Over time, this wears you down not just mentally, but physically. It becomes harder to focus, to sleep, to be fully present in your own life. What's even more dangerous is how easily this becomes your identity. You start to think, if I'm not busy, I must not be valuable. You associate stillness with laziness. And that mindset traps you in a cycle that looks like ambition, but feels like self-abandonment. So what can you do? It starts with redefining what effort really means. True effort isn't about how many hours you log. It's about where your energy goes and why. Working smart doesn't mean doing less. It means doing what matters. It's choosing quality over quantity, depth over speed. You don't have to earn your worth through exhaustion. Rest is not a reward, it's a requirement. You deserve to have slow mornings, to take breaks without guilt, to say no without feeling like you failed. Productivity is not a race, it's a rhythm. And that rhythm includes pauses. Try this. Instead of asking, how much did I do today? Ask, what value did I create today? Shift your focus from being busy to being intentional. Not everything that fills your day actually feeds your life. Organize your tasks based on meaning, not just urgency. Choose rest as a form of resistance to a culture that glorifies burnout. Because your time is not just a schedule to manage, it's your life to protect. You're allowed to slow down, to work with purpose instead of panic, to be thoughtful rather than hurried. Growth doesn't always look like hustle. Sometimes it looks like stillness, clarity, and courage to do less, but do it well. Remember, you weren't born to be busy. You were born to be whole. 2. Taking care of your appearance, taking care of yourself. You wake up, do your skincare routine, apply makeup, and maybe post a picture. and for a moment you feel better, more confident, more polished. You might even think, I'm loving myself more now. But is that truly self-love, or just the illusion of it? There's nothing wrong with wanting to look good. Taking care of your skin, doing your makeup, and dressing well are all valid ways to express who you are. These choices are personal and they should be respected. But the trouble starts when your sense of self-worth becomes dependent on how you look. When your reflection becomes your only validation, the line between self-care and self-judgment gets blurry. We live in a world that often equates beauty with value. And because of that, it's easy to confuse appearance with identity. You're taught that glowing skin, perfect eyeliner, and flawless outfits signal that you've got it together. But how often do you spend an hour perfecting your makeup and skip breakfast? Or scroll through skincare trends for hours while your body is crying out for real rest, nourishment, or movement? Self-care isn't just what you put on your body. It's also what you put into it physically, mentally, and emotionally. It's not just about hydration serums and contouring palettes. It's about real hydration, nutritious food, a good night's sleep, deep, unhurried breaths. It's about books that feed your mind, conversations that nourish your soul, time alone that reconnects you with yourself. Imagine someone who spends an hour every morning doing makeup, but only gets 4 hours of sleep and skips meals because she's too rushed. That's not growth. It's quiet burnout dressed in pretty packaging. It's like polishing the exterior of a car while the engine is falling apart inside. There's a kind of care that's loud, visible, praised, aesthetic, and then there's the silent kind. The kind no one sees. Choosing to rest instead of pushing through, saying no to a toxic routine, shutting down screens before bed, journaling your thoughts when they feel heavy. That quiet care doesn't get as many likes, but it builds something deeper. Resilience, peace, clarity. True beauty isn't just about symmetry or style. It's the byproduct of balance. Physical wellness, emotional regulation, and mental stability all play a part. You can wear the best foundation in the world, but if you're running on stress, junk food, and negativity, your glow won't last, and deep down, you know it. That's why real self-love invites you to go deeper. It asks, what am I feeding my body and my mind? What do I consume online every day? How do I talk to myself when no one is listening? It's okay to enjoy the fun of fashion and beauty, but let them be additions, not your anchors. Here's something to try. Along with your skincare routine, create a self-talk routine. When you wash your face, remind yourself of what you're proud of that day. When you choose a lip color, also choose a thought that empowers you. When you invest in beauty products, invest in healthy food too. It's not either or, it's both. It's balanced. Your outer glow matters, but your inner light, that's where real beauty lives. 3. Being good at everything equals success. Have you ever caught yourself feeling proud because you're juggling so many things at once, yet quietly wondering if any of them are truly fulfilling? In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to believe that being able to do many things means you're succeeding. The more tasks you can check off, the more roles you can play, the more skills you can list, the more valuable you must be, right? But let's pause for a moment and ask, is doing more always better? Modern life often glorifies the multitasker. You're told that versatility is strength, that the more you learn, the more you can achieve, that you should be constantly evolving, expanding, trying new things. And yes, there is beauty in growth, but there's also danger in overextending. When you're chasing 10 things at once, you may feel productive, but are you at peace? Are you moving forward with clarity or just spinning in circles, afraid to fall behind? There's a quiet kind of emptiness that comes from being everywhere, yet feeling nowhere. You might find yourself in a cycle where you're always busy learning something new, signing up for another course, starting another side project. But underneath that drive, there's often a sense of disconnection, a voice that whispers, I'm doing all this, but why doesn't it feel meaningful? The problem isn't that you're capable of many things. It's that being capable doesn't mean you have to do it all. Imagine spending your day bouncing between digital design, writing, organizing, fitness routines, personal branding, and financial planning. Impressive? Absolutely. Sustainable? Not always. And more importantly, does any of it bring you closer to the version of yourself you want to become? Success isn't about how much you can carry. It's about knowing what's truly worth carrying. Sometimes we confuse being well-rounded with being constantly busy, but depth matters. Fulfillment comes from going deeper in fewer things, not skimming the surface of everything. A focused life doesn't mean a boring life, it means a grounded one where your energy flows with purpose, not panic. Choosing what not to do is just as important as choosing what to do. Saying no isn't selfish, it's a form of self-leadership. When you say no to distractions, to overcommitting, to chasing every shiny opportunity, you say yes to clarity, rest, and alignment. And here's the truth that often gets overlooked. It's okay to not be good at everything. It doesn't make you less. It makes you human. Real growth begins when you stop trying to prove yourself through performance and start anchoring into what genuinely matters to you. What would your life feel like if you gave yourself permission to focus? Not out of fear of missing out, but from the calm knowing that you don't need to do everything to be enough. That mastery in one area can often bring more confidence than mediocrity in 10. This isn't about shrinking your potential. It's about directing it with intention. So if you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by your own ambition, take a step back. Ask yourself, which of these things truly light me up? Which ones just keep me busy? Am I expanding with purpose or just trying not to fall behind? Success doesn't mean being good at everything. It means choosing the right things and giving them your best. Because in the end, depth creates impact. And peace doesn't come from doing it all, it comes from doing what's right for you. 5. The meaning of growth. Moving forward by being yourself. Personal growth is often portrayed as a relentless pursuit of more. More skills, more achievements, more recognition. Society tells us to hustle harder, to constantly improve, and to never settle. Yet, this relentless pace can leave many feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or even lost. What if the real essence of growth is not about how fast or how much we do, but how authentically we evolve as individuals? True personal development means making genuine progress from where we were yesterday. It is about moving forward in a way that honors our unique journey, pace, and values, rather than chasing a generic ideal or others' expectations. When we think about growth, it's essential to understand that it is not a destination or checklist to complete. It is a continuous process of becoming better versions of ourselves, step by step, day by day. This means reflecting honestly on where we started and recognizing small, but meaningful improvements, whether it's how we manage stress, how we communicate, how we care for our bodies, or how we cultivate our minds. Real growth is measurable not by external markers, but by the subtle shifts within us, feeling calmer in situations that once caused anxiety, having the courage to say no when necessary, or choosing healthier habits consistently. These small, consistent steps build a foundation that supports long-lasting change. It's important to remember that growth is deeply personal. What counts as progress for one person might look very different for another. That's why comparing your path with anyone else's can be misleading and discouraging. Growth aligned with your authentic self allows you to honor your feelings, respect your limits, and celebrate your own wins. It means developing a sense of self-awareness, understanding your strengths and weaknesses, and choosing areas to improve that genuinely matter to you. This self-alignment makes growth sustainable and fulfilling, instead of stressful or performative. One common misconception is that being busy or mastering many skills equates to personal development. But spreading yourself too thin and chasing every trend or new skill without depth can lead to burnout and confusion. Real progress happens when you focus on going deeper in the areas that resonate most with you, rather than trying to be good at everything. It's about quality, not quantity. It's about taking the time to integrate lessons fully so that your improvements stick and serve you well in everyday life. Similarly, self-care should go beyond surface-level routines like makeup or appearances. While these can be empowering tools, true self-love involves nourishing yourself from the inside out through healthy nutrition, rest, meaningful connections, and nurturing your mental and emotional well-being. When your growth is balanced across these dimensions, you build a stronger, more resilient self that shines naturally. Another vital element of genuine personal growth is patience. Sometimes we expect dramatic changes overnight, but real transformation often happens gradually and imperceptibly. The key is to be patient with yourself during this process, to honor where you are right now, and to keep moving forward, even if progress seems slow. Consistent small steps can create profound shifts over time. To cultivate authentic growth, try to regularly pause and reflect. Are your actions and habits today better than they were last month, last year? Are you becoming more aligned with your values and vision for your life? Do you feel more at peace with yourself? These questions help you stay grounded and focused on your true progress, instead of being distracted by societal pressures or external validation. Growth is not about doing more or being perfect. It's about becoming more you, more aware, more compassionate, more balanced, more fulfilled. It's about shedding what no longer serves you and embracing who you are, flaws and all. It's about learning from your experiences rather than ignoring or suppressing them. This kind of growth empowers you to live authentically and confidently. In practice, this means setting realistic goals that resonate with your inner self, prioritizing self-care and rest, and cultivating habits that enhance your physical, mental, and emotional health. It means learning to say no to what drains you and yes to what nourishes your soul. It means being open to change, but on your own terms and in your own time. Ultimately, personal growth is a journey back to yourself, a path of discovering and nurturing your true potential while honoring your unique pace and process. It is the commitment to improve steadily from your past self, not to meet someone else's standards or timelines. When approached this way, growth becomes a source of joy, resilience, and empowerment, lighting the way toward a more meaningful and authentic life. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.